Hi, this is Dale with Flatirons Fire. So today we're going to talk about how important it is to read your manual. This is going to be the first of a series of videos we're going to be talking about. Let me give you an example of a scenario that happens that we deal with a lot. Is we understand there's sticker shock, and a lot of times there's some expensive fireplaces can be expensive. The install can be somewhat involved. So we'll give a customer a quote, and they either say, hey, I can handle this myself, or they'll have their contractor do it. It happens with contractors too. Is a contractor will say, well, I'll just have my HVAC guy do it. Let's be fair, there are HVAC guys and furnace guys that know how to install fireplaces, but to be honest, there's a lot that don't. There's a lot of detail and setup that goes into doing a fireplace. One of the most important things that happens is you have to read our manual. In fact, it's happened several times when we are on the job site and my guys will pull out a manual, or I'm out there doing an install and I'm reading the manual, and you'll have a customer walk in the room, and we've actually had them get uneasy and say, have you ever done this before? Why are you reading a manual? And we try to make it very clear to them, you want us to read a manual because there's several different things that, from this fireplace to this fireplace to that fireplace, we have general rules, but they have specific specifications on how we can install it. And if we don't have those dialed in, you're gonna see what we're gonna be talking about today as far as soot and almost ruining a fireplace. So let's kind of get into the details of that. One of the situations we're going to talk about today is specifically about this Napoleon Vector. It's one of the nicer fireplaces on the market. We sell a lot of them, we install a lot of them. But about a year ago, we sold this unit to one of our customers. Great customer, we love him. But he had just asked one of his buddies that's kind of in the construction field about it, and the guy was like, yeah, I can install it, no problem. We got a call about 6 months later saying this fireplace is black, it's not running good. We got called to go do a service call, but as soon as we got out there, we saw what the issue was. And it was a very simple thing of not following what the manual says on how we vent it. We're gonna kind of take you behind the wall, kind of show you what the issue was, then we're gonna kind of show you the manual, and this is just be one example of some of the details we gotta take into consideration when we're doing a fireplace. All right, so now we're on the back side of this fireplace. So this particular unit's what's called a high BTU unit. It's right around 35,000 BTUs, which is a decent output or on the higher end of gas fireplaces. There are manufacturers that say you can vent right off the back. Well, that's not even an option with this unit. Some venting diagrams on different units, even around the same manufacturers, will say we can do a 90 and come right off. This particular unit does not allow for that. This unit is very specific that we have to vent up a certain amount vertical before we can go horizontal. That rule can even be different if you're doing liquid propane. So that's one of the biggest things is natural gas and propane sometimes live by different rules on how we do the setup and how we do the venting. You know, the concept of I'm gonna drop a fireplace in place, I'm gonna run the venting out the wall, hook the gas up, hook the outlet up, I'm good. In theory, that sounds really good, but unless you don't look at the details, and we're going to show you some video, we're going to show you just a couple basic photos that show like what could happen if you just kind of have that mindset when it comes to doing an install. So, ow. All right, so you're going to see in this first photo, this termination cap sticking out, and you just see all this black soot coming up the side of the wall. So when we get inside the customer's home and we're looking at the actual fireplace, the logs are completely covered in soot. Job 101 is cleaning that thing out. And at that point, we realized they basically did a 90 directly off the top of the unit and went right out the wall. And so we're gonna show you here on the manual where it actually gives a specification of how high up we have to come up with that venting. The other part is it seemed a little goofy to us that you have this gorgeous exterior fireplace chase made for a chimney with stucco and everything, and they just poked the venting right out. Aesthetically, to do it the right way, we took advantage of having that tall chase. Now it looks more proper. We actually have a vertical chimney cap so that there's no water intrusion. And now this guy's unit's gonna burn like a champion. He's gonna get the BTUs out of it. He's not gonna have any black soot or anything like that. When you're buying a complicated device like a fireplace, let the professionals install it. But the fine tuning that goes into checking vacuum breakers and all the pressures and all the things, it's your best bet to leave Fireplaces to Fireplace guys.